You know, the way we shop is changing in a huge way. And I'm not just talking about tapping your card at a coffee shop. We're about to dive into a world where pretty much any advertisement, any message, heck, even a sound can become a direct checkout counter. Let's get into how this is even possible. We've all been there, right? You're flipping through a magazine, watching a TV show, or just walking past a billboard. You see something you absolutely love, something you want right now. But then, ugh, you gotta pull out your phone, search for the website, find the product, and half the time you just give up. It's this super frustrating gap between seeing something and actually owning it. For basically all of history, advertising has been a one-way street. A brand just kind of shouts a message out into the world, and it's on you, the customer, to figure out how to respond. But that's all changing. Technology is finally closing that gap, and it's turning that one-way street into a seriously interactive, two-way highway for commerce. So, what's the solution? Well, it's not some flashy new gadget. It's a total rethink of the entire process. It's about a universal payment standard that just works no matter where you are. Think of it like a master key that can unlock a purchase whether you see it on a screen, on a billboard, or even if you just hear it. And this right here is the big shift. We're all used to the traditional system, right? You've got one method, the card, and we just kind of force it to work everywhere. This new multimodal approach, it flips that completely on its head. It's not about one tool for every single job. It's about having 7 perfect tools, each one designed for the exact channel you're on. And that number is so important. 7. This isn't just about having more options for the sake of it. It's about having the right option at the right time, making a transaction feel completely seamless, whether you're online, in a store, or just listening to the radio.
Okay, let's break these down. Let's start with the ones you can see and touch, the ones that are probably already part of your life. You've got the QR code you scan at a restaurant, the classic barcode at the grocery store, that NFC tap to pay for your morning coffee, and of course, the simple payment link you click in an email. It's all about making the visual world instantly shoppable.
And then we get to the really cool stuff, the payments triggered by invisible signals. Bluetooth Low Energy, or BLE, is what makes those futuristic walk-through checkouts possible, where you don't even have to stop. A simple text message can trigger a purchase on any phone, smart or not. And then there's Soundbite, which uses audio signals to let you buy something you hear on TV. The world itself is literally becoming the checkout. So, with these 7 tools in our toolbox, the actual rules of advertising and retail are being totally rewritten. This isn't just about making payments a little more convenient. It's about creating brand new channels for commerce to exist.
And this is the point I really want to drive home. The goal here isn't to just replace your credit card with a digital version. No way. It's to empower sellers to sell in places they never ever could before. Think about it. A magazine ad, a highway billboard, a podcast ad, these used to just be for brand awareness. Now, they can be direct, interactive storefronts. Let's make this super real for a second. Imagine you're in a car and you see a billboard for some awesome new sneakers. That ad is totally offline, just a physical sign. But on that billboard is a QR code. Your passenger scans it and boom, a payment request pops up on their phone. They hit approve, the order is placed, and all they needed was a tiny bit of internet to give that final okay. That ad just became the store.
But what about media you can't touch, like the radio or a TV show? Well, that brings us to maybe the most futuristic method of all, Soundbite. This is tech that actually embeds payment information directly into an audio signal, turning a simple broadcast into a direct way to sell.
Okay, so how does this work without being creepy or insecure? Good question. First, it uses sound waves that are totally within the normal range of human hearing. Second, and this is key, your phone is not always listening. You have to manually tell your phone to listen, which means you're in complete control. And most importantly, your sensitive financial info is never broadcast over the air. The signal only carries the request, keeping your details safe and sound. So that brings up the big question, right? How can all of this be so simple and at the same time super secure? Well, the answer is in the plumbing, the technology running underneath all 7 of these methods. The engine that powers everything is a direct bank integration called account-to-account payment, or A2A. This is the heart of the payware system. So instead of your payment bouncing around through all these complex and expensive card networks, an A2A transaction is just a direct, secure handshake between the seller's bank and your bank. By cutting out all those middlemen, it gets way simpler and a lot cheaper. And the benefits are just crystal clear when you put the 2 models side by side. The A2A approach gives you all 7 ways to start a payment, versus just one for cards. It works on any phone, not just the latest and greatest. You don't need any special hardware. But the biggest difference? Look at that last row, the transaction fees. We're talking a fraction of what card networks charge, which is a massive, massive game changer for sellers.
And for us, as buyers, this is a huge leap forward in security and control. The old way meant typing in your card number, expiry date, security code, all these sensitive details that could be stolen and used again. The new way? You don't share anything sensitive, ever. You just get a simple request, hey, do you want to pay this amount to this seller? And you tap approve. You're not sharing your data, you're just sharing your consent. So let's boil this all down. What are the key things to remember? First, the buyer is always in control. Nothing ever happens without your direct approval. Second, sellers can now sell absolutely anywhere, turning every ad into a real sales opportunity. Third, security is just fundamentally better because you never share your card details. And finally, it's for everyone. It works on basically any phone out there. So what does all this really add up to? Well, it's a lot more than just a new way to pay. It's a complete revolution in what a transaction can even be. I mean, when the friction between wanting something and actually owning it basically vanishes, it completely changes our relationship with commerce. It blurs the line between just looking at content and being in a storefront. So the big question we're left with is this. When any image, sound, or message can become a checkout, what does that truly mean for the future?